GPT-5 is clearly a flop. Or it isn't. Depends on your expectations. Regarding the overhyped AGI teasing and overdue release, this is a flop. But if you set the hype aside and zoom out to see the bigger picture, it's a better model. Slightly better, but still an improvement. So let's review the GPT-5 release, analyzing how it fits in the continuity of model improvement across all providers, uncovering the biggest but hidden win for developers, and see why you should break out of the exponential hype train. The first point to get out of GPT-5 release is the move from chat apps being a single model behind an API to a complex system dynamically picking models depending on the query. Chat applications, such as ChatGPT, already have ad hoc systems like safety checkers guarding LLM input and output. But GPT-5 is the first time, to my knowledge, that different architectures and weights are dynamically used for the primary generation of content. ChatGPT now has a router that routes your query to the simple and fast or hard reasoning model depending on the problem difficulty. You don't decide anymore the model you use. The router is routing your request to what it deems is the most appropriate. GPT-5 got a mixed public reception, from what I could read on X, Reddit, or other platforms. That itself is a bad point, as OpenAI teased the release as revolutionary. I would categorize the criticism in three groups: overhyped and overdue. OpenAI hyped AGI and for a long time now teased GPT-5 as a revolution. The release is late and the result far from the promise. Bad quality. People complain about poor output quality compared to the hyped model. Some even prefer the previous models. The feeling is also amplified by the fact that GPT-5 chooses the model that will answer your request, potentially giving you worse answers when using the smaller model. Finally, losing autonomy and access to previous models. No more 4.0, 0.3 or 0.4 in ChatGPT, just GPT-5. People felt a double loss. You can't use your favorite previous model anymore, which was always an option before if you didn't like a release. Also, GPT-5 now chooses for you between the cheaper and dumber model or the powerful reasoning one, which is frustrating. I think the reception would have been better without 0.3 and 0.4 filling the gap of performance between GPT-4 and GPT-5. Analyzing the GPT-5 release, we have to consider that even though the AI providers achieved a high valuation, they are burning cash with a flamethrower. GPUs are costly, and the current AI paradigm is scaling, not efficiency. This means more data and bigger models using more GPUs. And enterprise GPUs are damn expensive. Recently, Anthropic had to impose new rate limits to Cloud Code as users were consuming way more than the price value of the subscription. Subscription models create cash black holes, as users consume more than they pay, unlike pay-per-use APIs. So integrating GPT-5 as a smart AI routing system and dropping support for other models in the ChatGPT app is clearly a move that will save tons of money for OpenAI. Before, people could use any model for any query, incurring a high usage of expensive models. Now by default, tons of users will get answers from the cheapest and faster models. Less output quality, but cheaper for OpenAI. In a few words, GPT-5 is better than all the previous OpenAI models, and, depending on the benchmarks, better than the competitors. Not by far though. GPT-5 is now number one across all categories in LMArena. LMArena is a crowdsourced benchmark that evaluates LLMs with side-by-side comparisons where users vote on preferred responses. GPT-5 is also the top model on the ArtificialAnalysis benchmark. This benchmark is a composite of 7 challenging evaluations to provide an overall measure of AI capabilities. Finally, GPT-5 has a 50% METR time horizon between 1 hour and 4.5 hours on various tasks. It measures the length of tasks in human equivalent time that an AI can complete with 50% probability. On paper, it doesn't look bad, right? But the biggest win is hidden in the details. Great performance for the smaller, faster, and cheaper models. GPT-5 Mini and Nano improve significantly on their GPT 4.1 equivalent. To me, this is where most of the value is. Those models are affordable and fast. I use 4.1 mini and nano, and other smaller affordable models like Gemini 2.5 Flash in many workflows and multi-agent systems. Used smartly on the right tasks, they are game changers. You cut the bill, improve latency, and preserve quality. GPT-5 gives us what looks like amazing small models on paper. Now let's take a look at the pricing. In the following tables, we have input and output token price per million of tokens for each model and a column that summarizes the price in one number by averaging the input and output with a ratio of 3:1, as usually your input tokens far exceed the output tokens. The first point is that GPT-5 is on par with 4.1 price-wise. It's a good point as we saw that theoretically, GPT-5 is better performance-wise. This is across all categories, flagship, mini, and nano. Now, comparing to the Google offering, we can match GPT-5 to Gemini 2.5 Pro. Their costs are exactly the same. For smaller models, we can match 5 mini to 2.5 Flash, and here OpenAI is slightly cheaper. Finally, comparing to Anthropic, there is no match. Anthropic is way more expensive across all categories of model. So, is GPT-5 a flop or a step forward? It's not the AGI revolution OpenAI's hype machine promised, but it's not a failure either. It's a solid upgrade, better benchmarks, and killer small models that save developers' time and money. So, what surprised you the most about GPT-5? Drop a comment below, and if you want more no-hype AI breakdowns, give me a like and subscribe. See you in the next one.